Hello friends, my name is Venkatesh Marke and welcome to my channel. Friends, have you ever found yourself struggling to keep your audience engaged when you speak? Do you wish you could captivate your listeners from start to finish? Well, you are in the right place because today we are diving into the art of speaking. This powerful tool can transform your speeches from forgettable to unforgettable. So friends, firstly, let's talk about storytelling. How you can include stories into your talk and leave a lasting impact on your audience. So let's understand why storytelling is important in speaking. Well, stories connect with the people on an emotional level. They make information much more relatable and easier to remember. Think about it. Which would you prefer? A list of dry facts or an engaging story? Now, let's break down the element of a good story in speaking. Every story needs a clear beginning, middle, and the end. Well, start with the hook, something that grabs the attention. It could be a question, surprising fact, or the personal anecdote. For example, imagine starting a speech about a climate change like this. Last summer, I watched my childhood home was engulfed by flood waters. That's much more compelling than beginning with the statistics, right? This creates attention and makes people want to know more about the topic. As you move into the middle of your story, focus on the journey. What obstacles did you face and how did you try to overcome them? Remember to use of a description in your story. This description will help your audience picture the scene and feel more connected to the story. Now, let's talk about pacing in the storytelling. Vary your speech rhythm to keep things interesting. Use short, punchy sentences for impact. Then follow up with a longer, more detailed explanation. This creates a flow in your speech. Don't forget about body language and the vocal variety, your gesture, facial expression, and the tone of your voice. Well, practice using these elements to ensure your narratives. As you approach the end of your story, build towards a solution. And what was the outcome of your story? Well, speaking of the audience, always keep them in mind when crafting your stories. What experience do you share? Well, practice is crucial when it comes to storytelling in the speaking. Start by writing out your stories. Then practice telling them loudly. Pay attention your pacing, emphasis, and the emotional delivery. The more you practice, the more natural and engaging your storytelling will become. Now, let's talk about a fascinating world of the voice modulation. First, let's talk about what voice modulation actually is. Simply put, it is the way we change our voice to express different emotions. Now, why is a voice modulation so important? Well, imagine listening to someone speak in a monotonous voice. Pretty boring, right? Our brain will respond differently when we listen different sounds. When we modulate our voice, we keep our listeners engaged. Let's break down the key elements of voice modulation. First, pitch. Varying our pitch can help emphasize important points. Second, volume. This is how loud or soft you speak. Well, speaking a bit louder can draw attention to key points, while lowering your volume can create intimacy or the suspense. 3. Pace. This is how fast or slow you speak. Well, speeding up can create excitement and slowing down can add emphasis. A good speaker knows how to mix it up. 4. Tone. This is the emotional quality of your voice. It can convey feeling like happiness, sadness, or excitement. Your tone should match the content of what you are saying. Well, here are some tips to improve your voice modulation. First, practice reading aloud. Choose a book or article and read it loudly. Focus on changing your pitch, pace, and the volume as you read. Well, this will help you to get comfortable with the modulating of your voice. Second, record yourself when you speak. This can be an eye-opening. Third, listen to a great speaker. Pay attention to how they use their voice to engage their audience. Fourth, get feedback. Ask friends or family to listen to your speech and give honest feedback. Fifth, stay hydrated. Well, drinking water throughout the day keep your vocal cord healthy. Now, let's address some common mistakes people make with voice modulation. First, over-modulating. Too much variation can be distracting. Second, not matching content. Make sure your voice matches what you are saying. Third, forgetting to breathe. Well, proper breathing support good voice control. Fourth, ignoring your audience. Pay attention to how your listeners are reacting. Well, remember, effective voice modulation takes practice. Don't get discouraged if it feels awkward at first. With the times and efforts, it will become more natural. Now, let's move on to a power of preparation and the rehearsal. Well, first, let's talk about why preparation matters. Imagine you are building a house without a blueprint. Sound chaotic, right? That's what skipping preparation is like. Well, good preparation gives you a solid foundation for your content. It helps you to organize your thoughts. Now, let's break down the preparation process. Well, start by defining your main goal. Next, research your topics thoroughly. Even if you are an expert, jot down key points, interesting fact, and the examples. Finally, wrap it up with a strong conclusion. Now, let's move on to the often overlooked step, rehearsal. Well, rehearsal helps you to smooth out a rough spot before you are in front of an audience. Start by reading your content loudly. This helps you to catch awkward phrases or tongue twisters. Pay attention to your pacing. Practice your gesture and the facial expression. Well, let's look at a real life example of how a rehearsal make a difference. Think about famous TED Talks you have seen. These speakers often seems natural and effortless, but the truth is they have spent hours preparing and rehearsing. Take example of Steve Jobs' iconic iPhone launch presentation. He made it look easy, but report says he rehearsed for days before the presentation. Here is a step-by-step guides for effective rehearsal. First, start by reading your script loudly. Second, record yourself if possible. Third, listen for clarity, pacing and the tone. Fourth, make note on area that needed improvement. Fifth, practice until they flow smoothly. Let's address a common concern. Will rehearsing make me sound robotic? Actually, the opposite is true. Good rehearsal allows you to internalize your content. Another benefit of the preparation and the rehearsal is a confidence. When you know your material, you will be confident in front of audience. You can handle unexpected situation more easily. If someone asks you a question, you are more likely to have a good answer. Let's address another common question. How much time should I spend on the preparation and the rehearsal? Well, there is no one size fit all answers. But here is a general guidelines. For every minute of the content, plan for at least an hour. Now, let's recap the main benefit of the preparation and the rehearsal. First, clear, more organized content. Second, improved delivery and the pacing. Third, increased confidence. Fourth, better ability to handle unexpected situation. Fifth, more engaging and the professional final product. Remember, even the most experienced speakers and the creators prepare and rehearse. It's not a sign of weakness, but a tool for success. Now, let's talk about body language in public speaking. First, let's talk about the importance of eye contact. Making eye contact with your audience creates a connection. It shows confidence. Well, try to make eye contact with different people throughout your talk. Don't just focus on one person or stare at back wall. Next up, let's discuss posture. Standing tall with your shoulder back shows confidence. It also helps you to breathe better, which is crucial for clear speech. Using your hands to emphasize point can make your message more impactful. But be careful not to overdo it. Try to keep your gesture natural and relevant to what you are saying. Well, let's move on to the facial expression. Your face is a window of your emotions. Smiling can help you appear friendly and approachable, but make sure your expression should match your message. Well, moving around can help you to engage your audience. It also allows you to connect with the different section of the room. Avoid shifting weight from foot to foot, as this can make you seem nervous. Let's discuss the power of pauses. A well-timed pause can add emphasis to your points. It always gives your audience time to process what you have said. Don't be afraid of silence. It can be a powerful tool when used correctly. Now, let's talk about voice modulation. Speak clearly and at a pace. While talking about dealing with nervousness, it's normal to feel nervous before speaking in public, but try not to let it show in your body language. Take a deep breath and try to relax your muscles. Now, let's talk about dressing appropriately. Your clothing is a part of your non-verbal communication. Dress in a way that appropriate for an audience and the occasion. Feeling comfortable in your clothes can boost your confidence. Let's talk about maintaining energy throughout your presentation. Your energy level can affect how you engage your audiences. Try to maintain consistent energy from start to finish. Now, let's consider how to handle mistakes. If you make a mistake, try not to let it show in your body language. Take a breath, correct the error if necessary, and move on confidently. Let's discuss the power of authenticity. Don't try to be someone. Your audience will appreciate a genuine, authentic communication. Let's move on to the role of passion in speaking. First, let's talk about what passion really means in the speaking. It's not just about being excited on the stage. Passion is a deep-seated belief in your message. It's the fire that burns inside you. When you are passionate about your topic, it shows in every aspect of your presentation. Now, why passion is so important in public speaking? It makes you more authentic. When you truly care about what you are saying, your audience can feel it. They are more likely to trust you. Passion also helps you to overcome nervousness. Let's look at some real-life examples of the passionate speakers. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. and his I Have a Dream speech.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
His passion for civil rights was very clear. Or consider Steve Jobs introducing the first iPhone. His excitement about the product was infectious. But how can you bring more passion to your own speeches? Well, start by choosing topics that genuinely excite you. Next, dig deep into your subject. The more you know, the more passionate you will become. Practice is a key. Rehearse your speech multiple times. Try recording yourself and watching it back. Remember, passion isn't about what you say, but how you say it. Use your voice to convey emotions. Vary your tone, pace, and the volume to emphasize the key points. Your body language matters too. Let your facial expression and the gestures reflect your excitement. Now, a word of caution. Don't confuse passion with the aggression. You don't need to shout or jump around to show you are passionate. Now, let's talk about the power of well-timed pause. First, pauses gives your listeners time to process. When you are speaking, your audience is constantly trying to keep up with your words. By pausing, you are allowing them to catch up and truly understand what you are saying. Pauses also helps to emphasize important points. Think about great speakers you have heard. They often pauses before or after the key messages. These techniques draw attention to what they are saying and make it more memorable. Another benefit of the pausing is that it helps control the pace and your speech. If you are nervous or excited, you might tend to speak too quickly. Deliberately pauses can show you are down and make your message clear. Well, pauses also be used to build suspense or create a dramatic effect. Now let's talk about different type of pauses and when to use them. The first is the short pause, lasting about 1 to 2 seconds. Use this pause to separate ideas. Next, we have the medium pause, lasting about 2 to 4 seconds. This pauses is great for emphasizing important points. Lastly, there is a long pause, which can last 5 seconds or more. Use this before revealing a major twist in your story or a significant conclusion. But remember, timing is everything. A pause that's too long can make an awkward silence. Well, practice is a key to mastering the art of a well-timed pause. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of emotion in the speaking. Let's start with a simple truth. Humans are emotional beings. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of emotion in the speaking. Let's start with a simple truth. Humans are emotional beings. We connect through feelings as much as facts. This is especially true when it comes to speaking. Emotion in a speaking isn't about being dramatic. It's about a genuine connection and the authenticity. When you speak with a real feeling, your emotions can sense it. They are more likely to listen and engage. But how do we effectively use emotions in our speeches? First, we need to understand our own feeling about the topics. What excites you about it? What concerns you? Why do you care? This personal connection will naturally come through in your delivery. Next, consider your audience emotions. What are they feeling when you speak? Are they worried, curious, or helpful? Well, another key aspect is varying your emotional tone. Constant positive might seem unrealistic. Try to strike a balance. Share concerns, but also offer hopes and the solution. Your body language and the voice play a huge role in conveying emotions. Make eye contact with your audience. Use hand gesture to emphasize points. Vary your tone and the pace to match the emotional connect of your words. If you are passionate about your topic, let it show. The genuine emotion can be incredibly powerful. However, there is a fine line between emotional and the fake emotions. Practice your speech to find the right balance. Ask trusted friends or colleagues for feedback. Storytelling is a great way to incorporate emotions in your speeches. Well, people connect with the stories on an emotional level. Share personal anecdotes. Point a picture that your audience can see and feel. Well, humor is another powerful emotional tool. A well-timed joke can break the tension and help your audience to relax. Just be sure your humor is appropriate for your audience and the topic. Remember, different cultures may have different norms about emotional expression. Be aware of your audience background and adjust accordingly. Ultimately, the goal is to create a genuine emotion or genuine emotional connection with your audience. When they feel what you feel, they are more likely to act on your talk. Now, let's discuss the art of structuring a speech for maximum impact. First thing first, know your audience. Who are you speaking to? What they care about. Understanding your audience is the foundation of any great speech. Once you know who you are talking to, you can tailor your message. Now, let's talk about the opening. The first few sentences are crucial. They set the tone for your entire speech. Start with something that grabs the attention. It could be a personal story or a thought-provoking questions. After your attention grabbing, clearly state your main message. What's the one thing you want your audience to remember? Keep it simple and direct. Next, outline your main points. Most speeches work well with 3 or 5 main points. Each point should support your main message. Now let's talk about transition. Transition are like bridges between your main points. They help your speech flow smoothly from one idea to the next. You might use phrases like, now that we have seen A, let's talk about B. For each main point, provide evidence to support your talk. This could be data, expert opinion, or a real life example. Well, personal stories can be particularly powerful. They help your audience connect emotionally with your message. Now, let's talk about the conclusion. A strong conclusion ties everything together. Restate your main message and summarize your key points. Now, let's explore practical tips to enhance your vocal clarity. Let's start with the basic, breathing. Proper breathing is the foundation of a clear speech. Take a deep breath from your diaphragm, not from your chest. This gives you a more control over your voice. Try this exercise. Put your hand on your stomach and breathe in. Your hand should move outward as you inhale. Practice this regularly to improve your breath control. Next up, let's talk about pronunciation. Clear speech requires clear pronunciation. Start by practicing tongue twisters. It helps you focus on each sound. Take it slow at first and then gradually speed up. Remember, clarity is more important than speed. Now let's discuss the importance of pace. Speaking too fast can muddle your words. On the flip side, speaking too slowly can lose your audience interest. Find a comfortable middle ground. Try recording yourself speaking and listen. This will help you to identify your natural pace and ideas for improvement. Vocal variety is another key aspect of a clear speech. Practice changing your pitch and the tone. Emphasize important words by slightly raising your voice. Avoid looking down as this can constrict your vocal cords. Hydration plays a crucial role in the vocal clarity. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Avoid dairy products before speaking as they can increase mucus production. Well, warm herbal tea and honey can smooth your throats and improve your vocal quality. Now let's discuss the power of articulation exercise. Try this. Open your mouth wide and say ah for as long as you can. This helps stretch your facial muscles and improve clarity. Let's not forget about the importance of listening. Good speakers are often good listeners. Pay attention to how clearly speakers articulate their words. Try to mimic their techniques in your speech. Well, confidence is the key to clear speech. Let's talk about the impact of your environment on your speech. Be aware of background noise when you are speaking. If possible, choose quiet location. Now, here is a fun exercise. Read aloud every day. Choose a book or an article and read it aloud for 10 to 15 minutes. So friends, there you have it. The art of speaking. Remember, the art of speaking ignite and inspire. They can turn a dry talk into an unforgettable experience. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more speaking tips and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.